Council of the Town of Fairmount Heights that 1, authorization to enter into MOU, the Town of Fairmount Heights, the Town of Capitol Heights, and the City of Seat Pleasant hereby authorize the execution of a memorandum of understanding with the 20743 Coalition as outlined in the attached document. 2, purpose of the MOU. The MOU establishes the terms and conditions for collaboration between the parties, including but not limited to joint development initiatives, resource sharing, community engagement, grant and funding opportunities, data and information sharing. 3, joint planning committee. A joint planning committee shall be established within 30 days of the effective date of the MOU, consisting of 2 senior level representatives from each party. The JPC shall be responsible for coordinating efforts, overseeing joint initiatives, and ensuring alignment with the objectives of the MOU. 4, project implementation. The parties shall designate project leads for each joint initiative to manage day-to-day activities, execution, and reporting. 5, allocation of work. Each party shall be responsible for an equal amount of work under the MOU. 6, duration and termination. The MOU shall be effective upon signing by all parties and shall remain in effect for 1 year with the option to extend for additional 1-year terms upon mutual written agreement. Any party may terminate its participation by providing 90-day written notice. 7, amendments. The MOU may be amended by mutual written consent of the parties, subject to approval by their respective governing bodies if required by local law. 8, non-compete clause. The MOU shall not limit any party from pursuing its own initiatives, provided such initiatives are not being pursued jointly under this MOU without prior written consent. 9, authority. Each party warrants that it is authorized to bind its respective jurisdiction and that this coalition has been approved pursuant to its required approval process. 10, signatories. The MOU shall be signed by the authorized representatives of the Town of Fairmount Heights, the Town of Capitol Heights, and the City of Seat Pleasant. Be it further resolved, the Town of Fairmount Heights, the Town of Capitol Heights, and the City of Seat Pleasant commit to working in good faith to achieve the objectives outlined in the MOU and to uphold the principles of mutual respect, transparency, and accountability. Be it further resolved, a copy of this resolution be provided to the 20743 Coalition as a demonstration of the parties' commitment to this partnership. Approve this blank day of February roll. Okay. Blank day of March. Roll call. Mayor Stewart. Yes. Councilman Waiters. Yes. Councilman Oscar. Yes. Councilman St. John. Yes. Councilman Downing. Yes. And it says attest the Town of Fairmount Heights by Mayor. I hereby certify as a town clerk of the Town of Fairmount Heights, Maryland, that on the blank day with blank 6 yea votes and 0 nay votes, the aforesaid resolution passed. Town Clerk Janika Russell.
Thank you. Ms. Russell, if you're on the line, we're going to go ahead and sign it, but we need to make a correction. Yeah, I did this before, so we need to make a couple corrections to it. As that's going down the line to be signed, we can move down to reports. Police Department, Lieutenant Cargill, please.
again when it's redone.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council, citizens. This is the Police Department report for the month of March. There were 30 calls in the town of Fairmount Heights from February 15th to March 17th. Countywide crime statistics are down 37%. This is a 2% decrease than what was previously reported in our last report. Okay. Vehicle owners have been put on notice about illegally parking in the town. Vehicles are being ticketed and towed daily. Enforcement has begun in the town to sticker, ticket, and impound disabled vehicles. So we are removing those vehicles. This does include vehicles that have been parked longer than 72 hours. Residents are strongly encouraged to start making arrangements to move those inoperable vehicles. Patrols are being done daily by myself, Corporal Odin, and Officer Collin. And this is a special announcement I have. Mayor and Council, citizens, I am pleased to let you all know that as of last week, the Fairmount Police Department has started doing overnight patrols. We won't release those hours for the safety of our officers, but we are out there in the overnight hours. This has had a great impact in our town. We have did some work, I'll say it like that. 7 vehicles have been stopped and cited for failing to stop at stop signs, speeding, and other traffic offenses. Officers have issued 17 parking citations to guests and citizens who violated the town ordinance, particularly those in the vehicle section. 9 calls in the town for the Fairmount Heights Police Department, 21 calls in the town for the County Police Department. The sheriffs had 0 calls in our town. Since our last report, we have arrested 3 individuals who have committed offenses in our town. The next part says, please make sure that you're watching your surroundings, lock your car doors, and don't leave items of value in your seats. Just yesterday in the county, there was a string of car break-ins, and they were going to gas stations while we were at work. So it was happening during broad daylight. Okay. Please make sure you lock all your car doors and your windows in the house. The police department, including Ms. Hodge, this is another special announcement. I want to pat myself on the back for this one, have attended a 40-hour CIT, that's a crisis intervention training. All of our officers now here at the Fairmount Heights Police Department are certified crisis intervention officers, and this does include our police clerk, Ms. Hodge. This training was offered right here in this room, so that's a big thing for me. Traffic and parking enforcement has been a huge success over the past few months. We have seen that the majority of our stakeholders are abiding by the state laws and the town ordinances. The police department will continue monitoring the Paul's Liquor, Ebony Inn, Hip Hop Chicken, the 24-hour market, and the Fairmount Heights Library. And speaking of the Fairmount Heights Library, this leads me to my next point. We have been seeing a lot of truant juveniles in the town. If you see those juveniles in the town lingering around, please give us a call. I went down to the library about 2 weeks ago now and took 3 individuals back to school where they belong. This keeps our kids safe and it keeps them out of mischief. So if you see them, call us and we'll come out and handle it. Okay? And lastly, daylight savings occurred last week. If you haven't changed your smoke detector, now's a good time to do so. All right.
Thank you.
That concludes my report.
Are there any questions for Lieutenant Coghill?
Yes.
Councilwoman St. John?
In terms of the hours, just because we know different schools kind of get out at certain times, are there specific hours that you want these reported? Let's say at 2 o'clock, you'd say.
2 o'clock is kind of that wiggle room.
Because some people would be out of school.
Between that
Some.
1 and 7 a.m.,
Okay.
they should be in school on school days.
I have a question.
Councilwoman Downey?
How many officers do we have on duty?
On staff, 3.
3. So that's yourself and 2 others?
Yes, ma'am.
And you are now been promoted to a lieutenant, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
And the other 2 officers, they are considered what, sergeants?
Well, we have 1 corporal and 1 patrol officer.
All right. And you said that they're now doing evening hours?
Evening and overnight, yes, ma'am.
So last night, the fire that was on 57th Place, the car that was set on fire, were you aware of that?
I was not aware of it until I was doing my patrols this morning.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
So it burned
It
the
was
street-
56.
56,
Yes.
thank you. The street was burned, and I was just wondering, what is the procedure for cleanup
So
Because-
I was actually going to contact Mr. Cradle about it, so I'll circle back to Mr. Cradle and give you an answer.
All right, that sounds good. My last question is, I've had several people who have asked me about Fairmount Heights police cars being outside of Fairmount Heights. If I'm not mistaken, you all were authorized by the former chief to do patrolling outside of Fairmount Heights. Could you explain that to us?
Can you specify your question just a little bit more? I'm not.
Are the officers allowed to take the Fairmount Heights police cars out of the town?
Well, there'll be certain instances where they will need to take the cars out of town, such as getting food, getting gas, doing things patrol-wise when they pick up uniforms. So yes, those cars will be outside of town.
All right, but if I'm not mistaken, you guys were authorized to use the Fairmount Heights police cars to do part-time work in other areas. Is that still the case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so if a
Only
citizen...
within the county, though.
Only within
Only
the
within
county.
PG
So if a
County.
citizen says to me, why is Fairmount Heights police car in Laurel, Maryland? I'll say to them that you guys were authorized to use the cars for part-time work.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that's all
Yes,
I
ma'am.
wanted to say, and congratulations. Thank you again.
Thank you, ma'am.
Just a follow-up question.
Yes, ma'am.
The working part-time is, I guess, a perk of being a police officer?
Yes.
And it will help keep our officers here because of the supplemental income?
And also, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All
Yes,
right,
ma'am.
and I have one other question. I sent you an address over on 58th Avenue. Would you please follow with Mr. Pinckney in reference to that vacant lot?
With the tree.
And with the tree, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Mr. Pinckney gonna be here tonight?
I seen him earlier, maybe about an hour ago. I thought he was going to be here.
Okay. I can reiterate that with him. Thank you for your,
Ma'am,
sorry,
me too.
Councilwoman St. John.
Sorry, so I just want to piggyback off of what Downing said and just to make another comment or suggestion in regards to that. I think it would probably be safer just to make statements if you are asked the questions that the police officers are just authorized to have take-home vehicles, because we don't want to say they're working if we're not. Just because you see them in Laurel doesn't mean they're working. They might be getting food, they might be getting gas. So I think it'd be safer just to say they are authorized to take home vehicles unless we know they're doing part-time work. And then the other part to that is just knowing that they're doing part-time. They're not on the clock getting paid with town dollars. They're working their part-time jobs getting paid elsewhere. So I think it's probably just safest to say, like, they are authorized to take their cars.
But correction, only one officer is taking home their vehicle right now.
Correct.
That is you.
Correct.
The other two officers are not, have take-home vehicle
Correct.
privileges. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So clear that up.
Yeah.
Point of clarification, the tree, is it on 58th or is it on 62nd?
It's in the vacant lot next, it's in the lot itself.
Is it this one on 62nd?
No.
No.
No,
So it's
no, no.
another one.
It's another. It's on the vacant lot. I don't know who owns it or whatever, but the tree is dead and it's gonna fall over.
You know, Mr. Pickett, you send that to me.
Yes, I will. I will.
Yeah, quick question.
Councilwoman Oscar.
Lieutenant, are you already lieutenant? or-
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
yeah.
you weren't here when we.
With regards to parking, you said 72 hours, some people park illegally. How do they know that they are parking illegally if there are no street signs indicating some of the rules?
So there are street signs, and in addition to that, it's available online and on the town ordinance, and it tells you that you cannot park in the reverse direction of traffic.
Oh, so you have to go online to get that?
Yes, or they can come in and get a copy of the ordinance.
All right.
It's also county.
And
Councilwoman Downey.
Councilwoman St. John, I'm sorry. What did you say I should clarify, and how should I answer citizens that say they see Fairmount Heights police cars in other areas in Prince George's County, and why are there police cars there and not in Fairmount Heights? What did you say would be the best way to respond to that?
Yeah, just by letting them know that they are authorized to have take-home vehicles, but I wouldn't go into any details about whether they're working or not.
So I just want to make it clear that the former chief said that he authorized them to use Fairmount Heights police cars to work part-time jobs. That was my question.
Yeah, so yeah, that's
so
correct.
yes.
But just to your statement, I wouldn't make those statements to residents. You said specifically, like, if they ask you, is it okay to say that? So I just would strongly go against saying too much in detail, because just because they're in Laurel, we don't know if they're working their part-time job. We don't know if they're getting food. We don't know if they're getting gas. So we just wouldn't want to make statements we're on 100% sure of. What we are sure of is that they are authorized to be in whatever city or state they're in, because in this case, it's only Cog Hill right now, but they are authorized to take their vehicles. So they could be
within
seen
Prince George
within
County.
PG County.
Right.
Okay, so what you're saying is, and I heard you say, at this point in time, you're the only one who's authorized to take a car out of Fairmount Heights.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so if it's not Lieutenant Coghill and another Fairmount Heights police car is in Laurel or Burtonsville, are they okay to be there to get food?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
I don't know about Burtonsville. Is that in Prince George's County?
parts of it.
Okay. So I
So-
don't know about Burtonsville, but yes, they're authorized.
Is that a hypothetical or factual question, though?
Yes,
But-
it's hypothetical. I just know
Yeah.
that.
So
They
Burtonsville, we said
if they're
Prince
on
George's
duty,
County, so
they're
hypothetically
authorized
pick
to
someplace in
be
Prince George's County, I would
outside
say.
of Prince George, outside of Fairmount Heights. Because like he said, sometimes they have to get food. There's no food options here.
Okay. so-
Nothing, no health
Hey, look,
insurance anyway.
I need to answer because people do have concerns about.
Okay. Can you have those people come in and address us to the full council so that we can hear their concerns?
I really, you know how people are. They don't. They are
They always
fearful.
log
They
online.
fearful of the police officers.
Not our officers. That's,
Oh,
that's
you
an
know.
untrue statement.
sorry.
Councilwoman Wade, you have the floor.
So, yeah, please. First of all, point of order, because he's giving his report, and now we're going into, questions or whatever. But I do want to say this in reference to you being anywhere, sir. If there's an emergency, wouldn't you have to respond, whether you're
correct.
getting lunch or not?
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions for Lieutenant Cargill? Okay, I don't see Mr. Pickney here. Mr. Rumey, Town Manager, your report, please.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens, and all of our guests who are online. My report is for the period ending February 28, 2025. However, my activity and job is fluid, even including some reports from activity for the day. In terms of administrative responsibilities, our job vacancy, of course, we have the position still for the chief of police. Initially, we received 6 resumes. The panel was composed of Mayor Stewart, our town treasurer, Ms. Walker, Lieutenant Mark Coghill, Chief Calvin Washington of Forest Heights. Is that Forest Heights? Chief Anthony Reese, Ms. St. John, thank you, and myself. So we had a second round of interviews that was held on March 13, 2025. And so we, again, had narrowed down to 2 top candidates. As fluid as my report is, while I was sitting out there waiting, I did get a text message from one of our candidates to say that he had found another position. I guess I can say his name, Mr. Hodge. Okay. Officer Hodge has found another position, so he will not be coming in. However, the mayor and I did receive another resume, and so I'm working with Lieutenant Coghill so we can set up an interview panel as soon as possible.
Go ahead. I just want to make sure, did we post it on the website that Chief Reese gave us the recommendation for?
No, I have not done that. I'm making a note of that.
Yes. Please make sure so that we can see if we can get more candidates.
Right, exactly. Okay. Prince George's County Summer Youth Enrichment Program. At the February meeting, the council agreed to participate in the Summer Youth Program. And so I'm going to, in this report, provide you with an update. So there's been a scheduled training workshop for March 27, 2025. Ms. St. John, I did send you an invite for that workshop. And so what we hope to do is to be trained so we can participate in the summer youth program, and this will also allow Fairmount Heights youth to enroll for summer employment. And I have another twist to that when I get to another part of my report. Also, for Mayor and Council, I want to remind you that there's an annual renewal of the legit insurance policy, which is scheduled for the month of March. You can go on the portal. I think there are 2 locations. The session in La Plata, of course, is long past, but there is a session in Hanover, Maryland, and I forgot the other location, but please look on the portal and really attend. There are a lot of new laws, especially everybody's familiar with the term DEI. There are also a lot of new laws in terms of the use of drones. And so it's important. I did sign up to register at 10, and I think Mrs. Russell did as well. So in our April meeting, I will give you a report, and so we can renew our insurance policy, which we do once annually. I'm not going to spend a lot of time to talk about the Public Works Department. They've done a wonderful job. Ms. Craig, I'm glad you're here in terms of being creative. Thank you for assembling the trash shed so when we have events downstairs, we can dispose of the trash. Thank you for adding the front and back cover to the salt canopy. I mean, all of these projects save us a lot of money instead of hiring contractors. I want to thank the Public Works staff for participating in the Green Team, and also attached to my report is the minutes to accommodate the Public Works staff. I usually meet with them in the morning of the meeting, and I do include their comments and their notes in the minutes. Also, Mr. Crater, I want to thank you. When I drove up today, I saw that you started the spring mulching and the spring cleaning. Thank you. I still have not heard back from DEI in terms of mulching or anything that they're going to donate, but I'll keep you updated on that. Economic community development. Back to the Green Team again. The Green Team, for all of you who may not know and who may be interested, the Green Team is part of the Sustainable Maryland. And we have just been so active and creative in a lot of the projects that we do. So I'm trying to recruit volunteers as well. So the Green Team meets on Thursday, February. Well, we meet the 4th Thursday of each month, and usually our meetings on Zoom. And we will also recognize we're not going to participate in the Earth Day because it's on a Tuesday, it's on a trash day, so we're not going to participate. However, we're going to give out information, we're going to post flyers, and I have examples of activities in case any of the council want to spearhead anything on your street and in your community. And we will have some sustainable living workshops. We want to participate in a spring plant sale and swap, how to plant your own food. We're going to talk about that, and how to recycle and hold recycling workshops. As I drive through, I see a lot of items that get thrown in the trash that definitely should be used for recycling. And this year's a theme for Earth Day is Our Power, Our Planet. And so, as you may recall, last week, if you don't think global warming is real, 39 people died in the southern states, and there are still 140 people unaccounted for. So these are things that we really need to pay attention to. And I noticed, I didn't know that the agenda for the meeting and the minutes are attached to this report. I can skip the 20743 coalition. Thank you guys for approving it and having the agreement signed. Update on the net zero housing. The developer Warren Bills installed sidewalks and walkways in front of the homes. The street along the homes will be paved starting. Well, they started the week, or maybe they're finished. Ms. Pinkney's not here. I think they finished the week of March 10th, 2025. The speed humps will be replaced by the developer. The closing down of the streets, I will coordinate that with you, Chief. Lieutenant. When we close down, we will have to close down the streets when they start paving the streets. And I appreciate your help for us closing down the streets. Also, I think they received 200 applications for the net zero homes. I don't know, any citizens, have you gone by to look at the beautiful project, the net zero housing project on 60th Place? This is a creative project, one in a million. We've had people as far away as from Michigan to come and study this particular project. So the first round of eligibility for people to live there will be based on the gross family income in accordance with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development's definition of family size and income. Any remaining units, which I doubt they have any, will be listed on the open market. Also, Mayor and Council and citizens, the smaller lot, I think it's lot 14, it will be the building lot for the microgrid, and they will start construction in early spring. That's where they will house the batteries and all the equipment that will also run the solar panels and run the energy system for those houses. And for the citizens, so an example, the good thing is, with this new technology and new thought in building, if our lights go off in here, they will have electric. And they may have sufficient power that go back in the grid that the houses surrounding them will have electric. So I applaud Ms. Waiters, I applaud the scientists and the groups that I've been working with to make this happen. The University of Maryland, Sustainable Maryland, they're partners with us in a lot of these projects that I'm talking about. Sustainable Maryland will host the Prince George's County Climate Steward Academy. I understand, Mrs. Downey, you're part of that? Okay. And it will be on March the 29th, 2025 at Town Hall in the Lower Auditorium. This is a pilot climate education and stewardship program that will support local climate preparedness. I just mentioned about the huge storm and the flooding that happened in the Midwest, and we're not immune to not have this. I know we've had wind gusts up to 30, 40, 50 miles per hour, so we get a lot of reports on downed trees. So we all need to be aware. Representatives from 10 organizations and 35 people, and I think I have to up that down to 45 people will be attending. The group will tour, they will first tour the net zero housing site. We will walk there, and then we will go to the location of the 2 stormwater projects at the ravine. All this is certainly positive feedback for the town. Our community garden, our partner HIP has consented to us using the corner site at Joss and Balsam Streets for a community garden. This lot is designated for the 7th net zero house. And I'm informing you at this time that construction will not start for the 7th house this year. One, due to funding, resources, and also the timeline. I don't think they've even selected the final developer for that particular house, and it will not be Warren Bills. The team will be able to have this, we will be able to have this project up and running in 45 days. I remember, we're trying to adhere to the timeline that you said, so we'll be able to have this up and running in 45 days. It will require a brief MOU between the town and HIP, which I have prepared and sent on to Attorney DeLoach for review. And if you go to the pile of papers, I left you a sample of that MOU is in there. My great news for the night. Chesapeake Bay Trust Grant Award, Mayor Stewart. The town was awarded in grant on behalf of the Green Team $30,000. We had asked for $70,000. We wanted to hire another public works staff with all this work that we're doing as far as the community garden and some of the other environmental projects. However, with a cutback in funds, we were awarded $30,000, and I'm truly, truly happy that we received the award. Ms. Walker, you and I had talked about this. Oh, and the other good part is that we can draw down $27,000 of these funds initially. And so we can draw down the money. And so when we finish the project, we can draw down the last $3,000. The other point of importance concerning this the $30,000 grant is that they will allow us to change some of the work items. I know one of the things I've been talking to Mr. Cradle and some of the things that we need. We said we needed to have some water device to be able to water the garden and some other things. So we will be looking at making those changes. And Ms. Walker, they had sent me an email to say as soon as we can schedule a meeting with the with the county, then we can start the process. I need to ask them when they said with the county, did they mean the DPI? So I'll get back to them tomorrow. And finally, the Patriot. I want to talk about the Patriots TTC STEM organization. There was something on Fox 5 this morning about the projects and about STEM. This is a project near and dear to my heart. My grandson, Alex M., I got 3 Alexes, Alex M., he graduated from a DC School Without Walls. He graduated from Morgan University. He has a degree in architectural engineering and science, and he has taught STEM programs. So I did connect him to Mr. Thurman Jones, and he's bilingual. So perhaps he can come in to help us expand the STEM program. I met with Mr. Thurman Jones, who's the president and CEO. That was on yesterday. The Patriots chapter is located at 5800 Martin Luther King Highway, 20743. It provides services and programs for students from 5th to 12th grade. Lieutenant Clark Hill, immediately I thought there was a way that we could get our young men and our children that we see out there, how we can get them involved, but they have to be in school to be able to participate, but we'll work on that. And just for those who don't know, STEM is an acronym that stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. Patriots TCC president, again, I said Mr. Thurman Jones. He's a local person. He graduated from Bladensburg High School. And he lives in Sea Pleasant. The Patriots TTC program is housed in what was the Bank of America. What's the Bank of America? The Bank of America, this is a great thing that we can incorporate in the 20743. The Bank of America donated the building to Patriots TTC. The building is currently undergoing massive renovation to better accommodate its many programs. And then there are some wonderful programs that are coming up. I can pass some of this around to you guys. There's some wonderful programs coming up. One is, especially this is Women's History Month, one is mentoring girls in STEM careers. And that's that's March 22nd. It'll be at Grace Cathedral here in Sea Pleasant. I also connected him to some of the local schools and to Ms. Turpin. Let's read together with, I didn't know this, March 2025 is National Reading Month. And then we'll have an artificial intelligence cyber security career program at Bowie State, April 10th, 2025. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Roman. Are there any questions for our town manager? Thank you for your report. Mrs. Walker, our treasurer.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff, and citizens. I'm Susan Walker reporting for the Treasurer's Department. I don't have a lot to share this evening. We are continuing to operate with a net income. Things have been quiet. Next month will be the end of a quarter, and so we'll give a more detailed report. Just a couple updates of things that we have going on right now. We have begun the process of installing our AV equipment. As several people will remember, we're purchasing new equipment for this room here so that our meetings will be easier for everyone to participate in, easier for everyone who's here, everyone who's at home. So that equipment installation has begun, and so we are excited to be able to have this room to be more available And then the equipment that we're using right now, we'll transition that equipment back downstairs. We also are in the process of getting the 2 additional vehicles for the police department. We approved that last year, and so we had to wait for the vehicles to become available, and they are now available. So we are getting 2 vehicles, which we desperately need because 2 of our vehicles are already down. So we have talked about being the best stewards we can of town resources and continuing to repair old, outdated vehicles is not the best use of resources. So we are getting additional vehicles, and we are also going to be putting some additional information in place so that we are very clear on the expectation for the use of our vehicles, the maintenance of our vehicles, and the responsibility. And this is not just for the police department, it's for all of our vehicles. And with that, I will share just a brief update on the status of the vehicles that we have debt service on. So our trash truck, that truck will be paid off this year. This is the end of our 5th year. So in July, so as of end of February, we owed $13,726.54. So one of the things we'll be talking about, Mayor and Council, during our budget is what do we do now? Do we look at another truck? Do we look at a smaller truck? Because we do need to, now that we have gotten rid of that debt service, we do need to talk about some of the concerns that Public Works has had, especially for bulk trash pickup. So now we can address that because we no longer have that debt. We have paid off the dump truck. So that truck was paid off at the beginning of this month. End of last month, we paid that off. We have 1 vehicle, which is our pickup truck, that'll be paid off in April 2028, and we owe $30,000 on that vehicle. So we only have 1 vehicle right now that we have a loan on, which is good, because it gives us the ability to look at other vehicles that we possibly can purchase straight out versus having loans for those vehicles. In the last meeting, we talked about street repairs and our sidewalk repairs. The weather is more stable, it's warmer, and so we haven't had many nights where we've had temperatures below freezing. So we will be able to get started on our street repairs and our sidewalk repairs. Mr. Cradle and the vendor are going back out to make sure that we have all the sites identified. We did have a couple of new sites that were added, and so we are making sure that we have captured as many of the sites as we possibly can. Mr. Pinckney did share one location where there's a tree that's on our property that has fallen on a resident's property. So we are in the process of getting that situation resolved so that we can make the citizen whole. And one of the last things I do want to share, we had, I think last year around the summer, we had a gentleman come in about solar panels. And so we've had a couple residents who have taken advantage of the program. The program's going away soon. And that's not for lack of the program being a good program, it's just the funding. So it's going away soon. So we did put something on the website. We have put something on the TV station to let residents know about the free solar panels, because it's only for DC and then this area. So it doesn't extend further as far as the free panels. But the program itself is available to everyone. But the free part of it is only for Fairmount Heights. So we are trying to encourage citizens, if you want to take advantage of it, please take advantage of it. And especially for seniors, if you have any reservations about speaking with the individual or meeting with them at your home, feel free to contact us here, and we will schedule a time for you to meet with the representatives here. We want you to feel safe. So those are the main things I wanted to share right now. Our next, Mr. Salumi and I, the next thing that we are trying to bring closure to is drawing down the bond money. That has been a challenge, and we have to remain vigilant and patient because it is holding us up from doing the bathrooms. But as soon as we can get that money drawn down, then we'll be able to start the bathroom. So that'll be another project that we have. Our goal is to have that project underway by the end of this month. So then we have next week, and we've reached out multiple times. And so I think we're seeing the light of how to get through this, but it has been a challenge. So those are the main things, Mayor and Council. Please don't forget that starting next month, we start working on our budget. And we do have a lot of things that we kind of put on our plate. So we need to spend some time getting prepared for the budget. And those are my main updates right now.
Thank you, Susan. Ms. Walker, I'm sorry. All right, so Mr. Pinckney is not here. I'll send you a message offline. Okay, so we're going to do mayor and council reports. I don't have much going on. I did attend the mayor's winter conference. The highlight of that this year, it was not a active threat event, so I did get to meet and talk with the governor briefly. Last year, if you don't know, it was an active threat event. He was locked down at the state building, and we was locked down in his mansion. But this year, he was able to attend. It was a very nice event. But the three days of the sessions were it was very informative. They talked about the bill, and I don't know the bill by number, but the bill basically is for annexation. And it started with Bladensburg and Cheverly over the old hospital. So the county has now stepped in and is basically preventing municipalities throughout the county from annexing. If this bill passes, then we won't have an opportunity, if, say, 10 years down the line, if this bill goes into effect, that we won't be able to annex, if that's what the goal of the town of Fairmount Heights is. So if you have an opportunity, call your county officials and tell them no to that bill, because we do not need that in effect. Municipalities should be able to annex. They also talked about a lot of the funding cuts that are occurring from the current administration and how things may not be coming to us, like the police aid and highway user funds. The state of Maryland is trying to develop a plan to make sure we still receive those funds because it's very important to our budget. But however, due to the current administration and their budget cuts, we may not be able to get that money. It's already allocated for this year, but next year we may not receive as much funding. Aside from that, I'm still doing my food giveaway on the first and second Sundays of each month. If you know anybody that needs a food basket, please give me a call, 202-350-1944, and I will deliver the basket to their front door if you know anybody that needs that food. That concludes my report. Councilwoman St. John.
Good evening, everyone. So also a very brief report. So first I wanted to touch on the update with the summer youth program. Mr. Romy did talk about that a little bit. So initially they did have their first kickoff meeting, which neither of us were able to attend. So we were just awaiting a new date. So we did get that new date for March the 26th. So I'll be in attendance where there will be able to outline and get structure basically on what those key dates will be that the students will be here, what the recruitment activities look like, selection and the placement process, like how do we determine what students we get, and also the partnership requirements to make sure that we're within guidelines and standards for actually hosting this. So anyone can join the summer youth program. I think the application is open until the 22nd. And then they typically get placed based off of the way the system goes. So we'll have more details on that for the next work session and town meeting. There is no update as of right now on the partnership with Fairmount Heights School. So as I've mentioned in previous meetings, we are trying to be able to develop a new youth council or provide a partnership where students can get service learning hours. So that is still pending. I have not heard from the assistant principal or the community leader. My last follow-up with them was on March the 4th. Moving on to the 90th anniversary, we did have a meeting last week, and in this meeting, we were able to break down more barriers. I'm happy every time we get a meeting, we get some more progress done. So we discussed things as far as being able to determine a hosting location. We were able to actually get volunteers to assign for certain tasks. We're right now in the creation for getting banners so we can start getting the word going around, making sure residents know about the event. Figuring out how we can get the best people and most people involved and active. If you guys would like to find out how you can sign up to join the committee or volunteer for any of the services, you can see myself or call the town hall, and we can get that information from you. so that you can participate. And then finally, I have started the process. There'll be more details for this to come, but one of the other programs that we're trying to work on is restructuring for how we greet and give information to all new residents, whether they're homeowners or renters in the town. So there'll be more coming up on that, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman St. John.
No problem.
I attended a event, I believe it was at Largo Community Church. That was for, it was actually a health event, but it had a lot of information for various different things in terms of health and living, healthy living. And they had a dementia test on you there.
I won't call you. Not on air.
Anyway, there was a lot of different information. It was packed. I have the pamphlets. There's so much that I did not bring them in to share, but I would like to, I do have some information to share with citizens who are interested. Most of what I have, Madam Mayor, is on the second page of new business.
Okay.
Things that I was tasked with, so I'll defer.
Your time?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Councilmember Oscar, I know you just got back. but-
Yeah, I just got back, and I'm also happy to be back to get myself up to speed with some of the businesses that have been going on. And the one thing that kind of like caught my attention was the 8-alarm fire on J Street. And one of the things that steps that could be taken by the mayor and council is have the business do some soil testing to determine the level of contaminants
Are you
by
talking about at the junkyard?
the junkyard. Yeah.
Okay, because remember, it was two fires. One was on the street just recently that Ms. Downing brought up, because I thought you were talking about that street.
Ah.
Oh, you talking about the junkyard?
The junkyard, yes.
Ooh, that was big.
Yeah. So I wasn't even aware.
Okay.
So I'm saying now that I'm trying to catch up on it, and so that we are taking some steps in order to maybe close the place down.
I agree.
One important step that we should really consider is to consider them doing, or the environmental agency, whoever that is, DPIE, come in to do some soil testing to determine the level of contaminants, toxic contaminants like such as PFAS, P4, or even the hydrocarbons contaminants. I'm sure that there will be some hefty violations on their part, which they would have to clean up at some point, even during operation. So something like that, that environmental aspect of it shouldn't be overlooked, and definitely to keep the environment clean for the residents. And we should definitely enforce that they do soil testing.
Okay. I welcome any legislation that you want to put forth and anything you want to do to help move that initiative forward.
Of course. And I would also like to highlight the Patriots program, STEM program initiative for the students from 5th to 12th grade. Obviously, the town manager have sent out a few flyers indicating a number of upcoming events in March, April, and May. And I think we should have to try our best to disseminate that information to the residents, so that the kids get an opportunity to take advantage of the opportunity. Sorry.
Okay.
All right.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all.
Councilwoman Downey?
Councilman, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
And I think maybe some of the citizens, were you guys present for the fire at Tremendo's Towing that night? I mean, those cars were popping.
Yeah.
And I mean, so I'd be willing to work with you to walk the streets of the citizens that are around there. The mayor, do you still have the sensor about the pollution and what's going on? Do you still have it on your
Yes,
home
I
as
do.
well?
I
I have one as well. So I'd like to see what happened that night, because that was awful.
Yeah.
One of my concerns is Mr. Hamilton's, because that too has developed into a junkyard. So I'd like to I'd like to work together, because people coming in and forming these dumping sites in our community is wrong.
Yeah.
So that's something I'd like to work on.
So the best approach to that is legislation. amendments to our ordinance to attack those issues. So if you guys would like to work together on creating an ordinance or update our ordinance to reflect how we handle businesses without business licenses or creating junkyards and
But we
other
already
environment-
have, don't we already have
Yeah, I'm
legislation?
sure the
not.
county must
We
have
do not.
environmental
We do
regulations.
not. That's why we haven't been able to do anything. We don't have any legislation.
So with
to
Mr.
stop.
Hamilton, you have no legislation that,
Nothing,
We don't have anything that directly addresses his violations.
no.
We have business, we can review this, we have legislation that addresses what business owners are able to do. But the legislation does not have enough, meat in it to address the infractions that we're seeing. And this is part of what we were told by the attorney, is there are things that we need to do to put more information into our legislation that we have in place.
could I see a copy of what the?
It's
yeah.
online.
So getting a copy of what
It's
the, Okay.
online, it's available online.
on our website?
The ordinances.
Yes, Mr. Pinckney he addressed this a couple months ago. It is definitely available online, and Ms. Russell can also give you a copy of it if you can't find it online.
If you would. All right, so does it address him not paying his business licenses and what happens?
That's what we're saying, there needs to be additional legislation about that, and that's what Mr. Deloach had talked to us about, and had mentioned that there are things, when they went to court or whatever, there are things that our legislation is missing, and that we need to, and not just for Mr. Hamilton, but for anyone,
Any business.
any
yeah.
business.
All right, that sounds good. What about next to Hip Hop Chicken, the vacant lot that is not maintained and the owner doesn't live in Fairmount Heights? How do they have legislation to address that issue?
We do have a vacant lot ordinance that was created by a former council,
And vacant dwelling.
and the vacant dwelling, we do have that.
All
But there were
right.
some discrepancies on the fee amount and
So I was recommending consistency across all of these, if you all remember, not just the vacant lots and not just the vacant dwellings. I was recommending a fee change for all of the fees, so that we would be handling fees the same. But for all of our ordinances, we've talked about this before, we need to take a look at all of them, not to be harsh to any one person, or to not be harsh to our businesses, but there are things that we are lacking in our ordinances, in our legislation. And so if we look at things across the board, we can make changes that would be best for us as a municipality, and it also would allow our businesses to operate in a manner that shows our citizens that we are being respectful of them as well.
All right, so forming a committee with the citizens so that we can get
We
together.
should probably start here first, because before we go out to the citizens, we need to do our part first, as far as just making sure that we have put the structure in place, because we're gonna have to then take it back to our attorneys. So take it, starting where he recommended, which is taking what we currently have, looking at where there are holes, plugging those holes, and then from there, we'd be prepared to share it with the citizens, get that feedback. Because ultimately, it has to go before the citizens, any changes that we make. But we should probably start that here.
All right, sounds good.
so you and Councilman Oscar will work on that ordinance update for just a section for
So
the
just for
business.
I'll
clarity.
I'm gonna review it to see
Yeah.
what,
Oh, so wait a
So-
minute. Okay.
So the
So
county.
you can't bring concerns to the council. We really need to work on this council. You can't bring concerns to the council and then lay it on somebody else's plate. If it's your concern, you have to work on the ordinance. You have to work on the legislation to change what needs to be changed. You can't come and lay it on our plate when it's your idea.
okay, so we laid a issue
An issue, a
on.
complaint.
So
a
now you're
concern.
telling me what has been done and what needs to be done and what dialogue has taken place with the attorney. And what I'm saying is, I'm not taking on anything until I review what is
Okay.
and
All right.
what has been
Please,
done.
when you finish reviewing the ordinance,
All right.
please decide whether you're going to take this on. If not, then it's going to go on
Oh,
the list of things
absolutely.
that have to be done. But
Absolutely.
however, this is what the council is here for, to create legislation to make this town better. If nobody creates any legislation, we can't move forward. So you can't bring it here as an issue or complaint or concern that you heard from your citizens and not have a solution or not work towards a solution.
And-
Am I correct?
And I'm not picking up anything, I'm not gonna pick up anything that I'm not informed about.
Before, am I correct?
But not dealing with this. You know how long this council,
Before, so you are aware.
this
of the
council
ordinance.
has been, trying to get a vacant lot ordinance forever.
Order. I have the floor. Every time we bring something up, you always say, I need to read it. You were on the council previously. You didn't read the ordinances then? Nothing has changed, but a few changes here and there.
You say
So,
nothing has
Madam Clerk,
changed, but a
I don't
few
know if
changes
Madam
here and
Clerk is still on
there.
the line, but I'm gonna have her send you every list of every ordinance we have and a copy of the ordinance so that you can be versed in it. You would have already known that we don't have anything to tackle the junkyard or Mr. Hamilton or any business that operates in our town. We don't have enough legislation. So this council needs to really sit down and think about where we need to go with this. And I'm not getting on the soapbox, but you can't bring it here and throw it on my lap or throw it on any other members if it's your issue. If it's your issue, you're passionate about it, fix what needs to be fixed. That's my discussion. All right, are you going to do your report? Or
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. As far as the Citizens Police Academy, there's an awesome 13-week program, and I suggest that every citizen sign up for it. The lieutenant, if I'm not mistaken, you can sign their document so that they can become a part of the citizens. They call it CPA. It takes place in Westphalia, 13 weeks every Monday, learning a lot about policing, about the challenges, about just awesome program. And I suggest if you want to know more about it, certainly ask me and I'll tell you. I did attend what's called the Citizens Emergency Response Team. And that's a program that's given by the Prince George's County Office of Emergency Management System. You get certification so that if there's a major disaster in the area, you'll be certified, you have CPR training, you have the gear, so that you'll be one of the people that can be called upon because you have had emergency response training. Another thing that went on was Jolene Ivy had a wills estate planning for seniors and for people who are under a certain income. I did manage to take 3 seniors, sign them up so that they can get their wills and advanced directories, and some of them were even able to get their trust done. I talked to her and her team and explained to them about the 20743 Coalition, and hopefully we'll be able to have something like that between Capitol Heights, Sea Pleasant, and Fairmount Heights. I talked about the CPR training, the CERT training, and the Citizens Police Academy. But definitely the Citizens Police Academy passed out. Can you pass these down? These are whistles that are for women when they're walking. Mayor, I know you walk your dogs.
Do you come
So
to the residents?
you can give them to the, I only got enough for the ladies on the council. But certainly the Family Justice Center.
Thank you.
This is the National Child Identification System, where you take these and you have your child fingerprinted, so if anything happens, their stuff is on record. They have it in Spanish and in English. One of the things that I want to do is I want to do a collab with the 20743 Coalition, because I just think that Capitol Heights, Fairmount Heights, and Sea Pleasant working together, we'll be able to do a lot together. So bringing in CASA to engage our Latin American community. How many open positions? We have 2 open positions on the council. So to be able to have one of our Latin American citizens to come and work with us so that they can teach us what we don't know, and that's about the difference in ethnic and what people value that we have no idea about. So that's my report, and I thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, so let's move down the agenda. Under unfinished business, under new business, interview with Miss Teresa Graves, Councilwoman Waver?
Yeah, so I did touch bases with Ms. Graves last week, and I did give a report in work session because her age is 104. We talked about.
Is she the oldest member of our community?
I didn't check.
Okay.
104.
104. Does anybody know anybody older than 104?
Do the survey. I don't know. When she turned 100.
We gotta figure that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Full advertising is.
I completed this task, but if that's another one, we'll.
Okay.
Okay. So she's 104. I put this on here because in terms of interviewing her, wanted to ask the council to come up with some type of script of questions to ask. Her, and then I'll go back.
Okay.
And set up, and then whatever the resources are going to be, it probably will need to be at her house.
Yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to follow up on that.
Yes, please. Councilwoman St. John, can you?
I got you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to jump down to the mission statement. I was tasked with combining, per our conversation about services, the adult services with, I think it was youth services to.
I had youth services.
Okay, it was two of something else. Senior services, I believe it
Senior
was, and
services and
adult
youth,
services,
yeah.
making it one. So I did create a mission statement for that, and I'll just read a short part of it. To enrich the lives of all residents, both longstanding and new, by providing inclusive, innovative, and sustainable adult services that honor our township's rich history, while fostering community engagement, personal growth, and well-being. And I did provide a copy to Mayor and Council to save time. The other thing that I did want to bring back was initially before combining, I did present a wellness program before the council, which is kind of lengthy and didn't have time to read, and I did present that. But I did want to point out that one of the focuses in here, my main focus was to offset costs. So there is a budget piece. I just shared this with Ms. Walker. Moving into the budget term, yes, there are some costs in total of $1,500, if we should do this, $1,500, which is a whole lot less than it would cost us if we did it on our own, with some suggestions for partnering with other agencies as well.
Maybe that's something we can do with the 20743 Coalition.
Yeah. And lastly, Mr. Rumi had asked me to do this, and it's not on here, but she failed to mention in depth when she talked about doing a farmer's market and the seed swap for Green Team. She did, this was a proposal, and she wanted to do an overall concept of the event, things that would take place on that particular day. So one would be learning stations, and again, I'm gonna scan through this because I did provide a copy. Learning station, partner resources, community outreach the day of the event. It's a timeline for everything to take place, starting at 8 a.m. and ending at 2. The setup, all those logistics are in there. And then, of course, again, we presented a budget. Yes, ma'am. And that concludes.
Thank you. And that was all of your new business?
Yes.
All right, so now we're at the segment where we're going to open it up to public comment. If anyone would like to come up and to the podium here and give your comment, remember that I have 3 minutes. You got to talk about the alleyway. Come on. All right, come on up. State your name for the record and just what street you live on.
My name is Professor Plummer. I live at 921 57th Place.
I just wanted the street because I didn't want to put your address out to the public world. That's fine.
Okay.
Have a seat, ma'am.
I just want to commend the police department because I see them a lot on the street lately, up and down, morning and evening. And I thank them very much, and I thank you all.
Thank you. Anyone else like to come up and speak? Ma'am. I was out yesterday. Come on. I was out yesterday. It was nice weather. I saw that we had a new resident on 50. I keep getting the street wrong in my head. 58th Avenue. On the corner there at 58th and Eastern. I was going to speak to her, but she wasn't home, and I saw this young lady walking her big dog
and Mr. Hagler that lives next door, and I engaged them to see what they thought about the town, where can we make some improvements. And this young lady had a couple of concerns, and I told her the only way that it will be heard by the people is to bring it to the town meeting. So state your name and just the street you live on.
Shantae, and it's 58th Avenue.
Okay.
We've actually been here for about 5 years.
Okay.
So just, I guess, I know Mr. Hagler had an issue with the alleyway. I'm not gonna lie, I don't pay attention to it.
Okay.
But
So-
he did have an issue. I'm not sure what his.
He said he was coming tonight, right?
He
So
did.
when I see him outside.
He did. He did. My issue was, and it's a lot better than it was when we first moved here, was the prostitution that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it has gotten better, but we do still have it on our street. And like that vacant lot, they park right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot better, but it's still an issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is getting better. I actually called Lieutenant Coghill when she told me about the concerns, so I could show him where her concerns were. So they are going to do extra patrols. Is that correct? Right. But the alleyway behind your home is the issue. There, Mr. Cradle is aware of it. Hopefully, our public works department could work on getting some of that stuff cleaned out. And we do have, we are prioritizing alleyways to get cleaned out, and some get pavement, but I don't have that list with me.
I don't either. We will make sure, Mr. Crater will make sure that this location is on our list. One of the things, Mayor, I want to circle back to, I'm not going to take your time, Mayor.
Oh, that's
because
okay.
It's your time to speak, but I do want to remind the council that one of the things that I placed before you was that we name every alley.
Yes.
Because then we will know what we're talking about. So
That's a great idea.
I provided a map, I'll bring it back up again. And even the alley that's right here by the pocket park that has never really been designated as an alley, we need to name it. So then we have no questions that we are talking about the same location. So when we're cleaning, when there's anything that happens, we will know exactly what area we're talking about. So just make sure that we have your address, and we'll make sure that that's on our list, and we'll get a name for that alley.
Okay.
Okay?
And Mr. Cradle, she is concerned about the used condoms that are left in that area. So when you guys happen to be picking up trash, if you see anything, could y'all please sweep them up?
What part of that?
No. I'm talking about on her street.
Yeah.
Street?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
we're
parking in
closer
front-
to Eastern Avenue, so it's a vacant lot right next to our property. And so they just kind of park right there and
Do their
throw
business.
whatever
Right.
outside the window right there. Yeah.
So if you get an opportunity, just make sure your public works, if you see anything out there, clean it up for them, please.
Because we go out every Monday and do a walk and
Okay.
pick up, you might see them out
Yeah,
there
yeah.
Monday morning, but I'll concentrate on
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cradle. Oh, wait a minute, one more thing, the tree on the vacant lot?
Yeah, so we had this issue a few years ago, and a tree actually fell. It fell on our shed, and everything in the shed was gone, including my husband's motorcycle. So we had to get that rebuilt, but there's another tree that a piece broke off I think the day you came by, or the day before. And so because of the high winds, a branch fell off. I usually, I have a runner that I put my dog on, and so he was outside at the time. He didn't get hurt, but that tree branch did fall. And so the tree is right on the fence right there. So the fence is already broken from the previous tree that fell. So it's another tree.
So it's on that
The
vacant
vacant
lot.
lot.
So Coghill, I've tasked you with working with Mr. Pinckney to find out who owns that vacant lot so that we can get them to come cut their tree. Okay?
Only question, can you give me the address of the alley?
Because one of the things that I'm talking to Prince George's County about is cameras. They now have dumping cameras that are catching people, and I want to have them to install them. One of the things when I did the Citizens Police Academy, I'm meeting people who work for the county, who are retired police officers, but now they work for Maryland Park and Planning. So I want to talk to them about getting cameras on 56th, right there on the side of my townhouses. Yes, because the dumping that's going on last night with the car fire, because that's what they do. They want insurance money, so they'll park the car there and then set it on fire, because they know it's on the side. So if I can get the name of, I want to put it down as well. And we are on the Washington, D.C. line.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm explaining to the representatives, even Chief Aziz. And I told him, I said, we have challenges that people don't even think of because we are on the Washington, D.C. line. So we
Councilwoman
deserve.
Dunn, I want to remind you that this is a public comment.
All right.
I'm sorry, but we can address those concerns at our next pre-work
All right,
session.
and I just want to ask her, would you be willing to join a committee to get the county to give us special treatment, because we are on the 207, we are on the DC line?
I will consider.
All right, that's all we can ask. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There's anyone else inside the building I see you, sir. Come on.
Well,
You have to come up to the podium, give your name and just the
Right
name,
on
your
that.
street. Just the street you live on, not your
just
full
because you
address.
see me quiet is not because I don't speak no English.
Never said that.
See, I like to listen here first, and I know that a lot of the. By the way, my name is Francisco, and I live at Cove Street.
Cove Street.
Yes. I've been listening a lot about residents about complaints about trees, cleaning, safety, a lot of this, these things. I've been here since 2004, and I know pretty much, I would say pretty much enough. And I've been here before to these meetings. Okay, just that I did stop coming. All right, so now I'm back again, and I see, well, at least a new face here. Okay, and you too. Excuse me, with all due respect. And by when I came here, I think the first time that I came here was about 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. But anyway, and I don't know for how long you just being here. But anyway, I know a lot of the Latinos community, and I get in touch with them. And the main thing here is that I don't want to say that they're afraid to come. It's just that we need to connect with them, inform them about exactly what the meeting actually is about. Okay? Most of them, they get busy working, but if we actually, get to them, and that's what I'm, if you don't mind saying this, is I'm working on, okay, so that they can get involved and participate on these meetings. And I do have complaints too, but some of them already got resolved, already got an answer, so I don't need to actually go over it again. Okay, so I just want to thank each one of you, okay, for all the work that you guys do. And I know that it's not easy. It's not easy because I've been sitting right there and I see each one of you, and I know you're tired. Trust me, I know you are. And some of them probably don't even want to be here, but you're here for one reason. And each one of you know what these reasons are. And I think one of the reasons is, so far, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you want to make the Fairmount Heights look much better than what it is right now.
Yes. That is all.
Okay? And that's one of my reasons why I'm here too. And again, thank you. I'll be coming to the next meeting. All right? And I just want to be part of this. All right? And again, like I said, I'm going to try my best to get the Latino community involved into this too, so that you see more faces.
Please, we are desperate to get them
Okay.
involved.
Thank
We want
you.
them to know that we're here for them as well.
Yes.
Thank you for your time.
Mhm.
Thank you for your statement. All right, is there anybody else inside? Okay, Mr. Bonhart?
Good evening, everyone. Martez Barnhart, President of Citizen Association. citizens, mayor and council. I have officially sold my home and I've moved out of the town. So at this time, the Citizen Association in the month of April will be looking for new candidates. I'm the only active member at this time because other members have stepped down for a variety of reasons. But I've been getting phone calls, emails, pictures about things that's going on in town. So the question that came to me was, what is the Citizen Association going to do in the future going forward? And I didn't know at that time because I was just in a situation where I was ready to go ahead and move and make a new, life for myself and my family and just move on. But talking to the residents, especially people on my street, I think there is a concern for a citizen association in Fairmount Heights. So we're going to go ahead and start advertising in the month of April for new candidates for the positions of president, vice president, and secretary. We're going to start up with just those three, and then I'm going to spearhead that. And we're looking for qualified candidates. Qualified. We ain't talking about anybody that's walking off the street. We ain't talking about nobody that's been here a year. We talking about folks that really have an interest in doing the right thing by the people. Have some integrity, principles, morals, and hopefully some spiritual values as well. It's just a need for it. People are asking for it. So we're going to go ahead and fulfill that. We're not going to go ahead and do like other citizen associations in the past. They just died off. They just, people just gave up. They just stopped, or they went to do something else. They just said, you know what, I'm not, interested in that no more. I think that's selfish for myself to go ahead and move on and just leave that empty like that. So we're going to go ahead and fulfill that request by the citizens. The other thing I would like to say is that, and what you guys are doing with the grants and with these programs, to have any of you council members or even the mayor to take on any legislation, I think that would be unfeasible for them to kind of do that. What I mean by that is that you should have somebody that's qualified that's going to do that. Bring somebody in, hire somebody that's going to write legislation or go ahead and help y'all go ahead and do it, because I don't think you guys are even trained for that, are y'all?
Let me make a correction. What you said when you say legislation, so like ordinances and resolutions, not legislations. That's for the hire.
Okay.
That was my
That's what the
mistake.
mayor said. So
That was mine. I correct.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you, Councilman Waiters, but we do write ordinances and resolutions.
Okay. Well, just to help the process for you guys to really get things in order, because I know the mayor did say that Councilwoman Downer was here before, and I know former Mayor Waiters was here before too. So my thing would be is that knowing what you guys have been through in the past about ordinances and legislation, having that kind of issue with creating those, bring somebody in to do that. I heard you. So thank you for allowing me to share. Y'all have a nice night.
Thank you. All right. Okay. All right. Is there anybody online that would like to speak up or participate?
Can you say Ksenia's comments in the chat?
Can you all hear me?
We can.
Who's speaking? Give your name and what street you live on, please.
I'm Jacqueline Morgan. I'm at 5516 K Street.
Okay.
Just want to know if we will be getting back this spring to the speed humps.
Yes, we already identified the next rounds of speed humps. We are meeting with the vendor now to make sure those are the correct locations, and they should be rolling out within the next 2 months. Within the next 2 months.
By chance we on that list?
What street is it?
K Street.
K Street. I believe Cobe is on the list.
We'll confirm the locations, we'll post the locations, and if there's, in order for a particular area to be in this next round, we'd have to have our police department to go out and take a look at what's happening in that area. It's not that we will never come to that area, but we did try to prioritize. Chief Moore had prioritized the areas we were having the most speeding and the most violations and the most unsafe areas. But certainly we can ask Lieutenant Coghill and whoever he would deem to be appropriate to take a look at the areas. So we will address that, Ms. Morgan, and let you know if that area is already identified or if it can be added to phase 2 or phase 3.
Yes.
But just correct me, your street is a one-way, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
They turned it into one-way several years ago.
It's supposed to be, so so Lieutenant Coghill is in here, he understands that they're going down the one-way, people are going down the one-way. Okay, all right.
You'll make a lot of money, sit right there behind you.
Okay, did you have anything else, Councilwoman, I'm saying former Councilwoman Morgan?
No, thank you all for your time.
You're welcome. I hope to see you real soon at the food distribution.
I will. I'll be back.
Okay. Is there anybody else online that would like to participate for citizens' participation? Or public comment?
I have a question.
1 second, trying to confirm. Okay, if there's no one else, Councilwoman Downey?
Now that I know that there is an ordinance for parking in a certain place during a snowstorm, when are we going to erect the signage that says emergency parking? Because people are unaware.
Yes, so we have addressed that in previous meetings that you have not attended.
Okay.
So, Mr. Cradle is working on those signage?
It is signs.
But we talked about the emergency no parking during a snowstorm sign.
It's
Oh, they are? Okay.
So on K Street, it's a one-way street. They know.
I'm sorry,
For
Council.
point of
Yes,
point of correction,
we are at the end of this
Yes,
agenda.
yes.
Okay, so we're gonna finish up the agenda. We will not table, but postpone this until our April work session, pre-work session.
So I can't ask a question?
Councilwoman Downer, we've talked about this at the last 2 meetings that you did not
So
attend.
then you should be able to tell me if K Street.
Okay,
So you should be able to tell me if K Street.
Order.
Has the signage.
Okay, so we're gonna move down the agenda. We've already discussed this, okay? No,
No, we see who doesn't know what they're supposed to know as a council person. That's what we see.
Okay.
That's what we see.
Order. Order.
Yeah, we see.
You got issues.
Okay.
Clearly, with class.
Any announcements that need to be made? Councilwoman St. John, you have the floor.
So just wanted to call this out with these times right now I was going through. District Heights is currently hosting a federal government and contractors town hall meeting. This meeting is going to be taking place on March the 22nd. It's from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and it's at Second Baptist Church. So here with this conversation, it is basically sponsored by Congressman Glenn Abbey.
It was yesterday.
No, 22nd. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I thought it was yesterday.
I was like, wait a minute, what? Yeah, this is, sorry, you threw me off now. 10 a.m. to 10:30 at the Second Baptist Church in District Heights. So it's sponsored by the Concerned Clergy Coalition, and then also Representative Glenn Abbey is going to be coordinating with Reverend George C. Gilbert Jr. So basically it's an opportunity to hear directly from the representatives, get any questions answered, resources. They basically want to reach out to communities and be able to help and provide resources for anyone that may be affected during these times. And that was it. I just thought that was something we wanted to make sure people knew about.
All right,
and it is posted on our Instagram page and our Facebook page for anyone that would like to see more about the event or get contact information.
He had one yesterday too. That's what it was. All right, and the last announcement that I have is don't forget about the food distribution first and second Sundays from 11 to 3. Really good food, and I know times are going to be tough for a lot of people. It will help you ends meet. If you know anybody, please don't hesitate to give me a call, and I will be more than happy to deliver a basket. If there are no other announcements, I'll accept a motion for adjournment. Can I get a second? All in favor? Aye. Have a great evening, everybody.
Ms. Downey, the workshop that